Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly discussion series that's hosted by the Chaldean Cultural Center in collaboration with U of M Detroit Center, Unique Voices in Films, and CMN TV. Today, our guest is a team of a mom and daughter, Amanda and Jordyn Kashat. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm very happy to. I'm very happy about this because it's not often that you see a whole beautiful family that's in the modeling and acting business, and you guys are also very talented, as everybody will soon find out. So Amanda has spent years modeling for hair shows and has been in various commercials, including Art Van, Red Wings, Dow Chemical, PBS, and many others. She was the main girl in an international music video. A wife and a mother of 4 beautiful children, Amanda is also a successful businesswoman. Her 9-year-old daughter, Jordyn, appeared in her first TV commercial at age 1. She loves acting with her sisters, making videos and making everyone laugh with her comedic acts. Both mother and daughter had a supporting role in the Iraqi-American feature film, Pomegranate.
Yes.
So, Amanda, you were born in the United States?
I was born in Michigan, in Royal Oak at Bowman Hospital. So born and raised in the area.
And your background, their parents' background is, are they Chaldean or were they born in Baghdad? What was their background?
Yes, correct. Both of my parents are Chaldean. They were both born in, my dad was Babylon, and then my mom was born in Basra, and they lived in Baghdad.
Okay. And I know that one of the things that we liked about you when you were auditioning is that you speak a little bit of Surah and a little bit of Arabic. Is that something that you gained from your parents?
I did. So I am fluent in Arabic. When I was born here, my parents spoke Iraqi or Arabic to me. So that was my first language. And then I learned English when I went to school. So, which I am very thankful that they did that for me, that I understand it and get to speak it, and wish I did a little bit more with them, and hopefully we can work on that with my children.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, that's the same thing I experienced with my kids when I'm trying to teach them. I felt like there was a bigger resistance, and I don't know if it's just a natural situation that happens over generations. Although I do know some parents who are very strict about making sure that their children speak Aramaic, that they speak Arabic, at least in the house, and then whatever they need to learn, they learn it outside of the house, especially, of course, in school.
So Aramaic I actually did learn from school and just from friends. I picked up, and then I understand it completely, which is crazy that you can just learn it from.
That's excellent for somebody, because you were born here. So that's really, that was good. So Jordyn, do you understand some Surah, some Aramaic and Arabic?
A little bit.
A little bit? Well, that's good. Then you can expand on it, I guess, at that point.
She knows all the foods and the bad words and the fun stuff.
Yeah. All the things that all the other people in all different languages love to pick up. Yeah. You know, when we first approached you, the producers and myself, about the film Pomegranate, and you read the script to see like what the story is about. So I want to bring this early on because Jordyn had a very big role in that, and the dynamics of you being in one, playing a role in one family while she was with another family. How did you feel about the script overall initially?
I loved it. When I read it, it didn't matter that she was going to be in a different family. The whole purpose of the movie, which was about love and how we're all family at the end and we're all the same and we all have, one language basically. And I was happy with it. And for us to even be with you and around you, and I know you're just an amazing person, that I know we would be in good hands.
Thank you so much. That's lovely of you to say. And for our audience, so Amanda played a Chaldean mom and who lived across the street so her and her children lived across the street from a Muslim family in the city of Sterling Heights. And Jordyn, she was in the family of the Muslim household. She was their youngest, and her name was Fatima. So you, Amanda, the character that you were playing, represented the community that you're a part of. But Jordyn's kind of did not. But like you said, although what we found from being and the cast and the crew and everybody is that we're really, at the end of the day, we're all humans, and that's the, you know, that's the umbrella that we fall in under first and foremost. And then aside from that, there's so many similarities between us as Iraqi Americans, and even just in general as Middle Easterners. So there are all these similarities and that already exist. Actually, anything that was different, it was like fun to learn as we were going along, right? Because Ismail, who was of that Palestinian accent background, so I had to laugh because he was trying to pick up
them my brother, my sister, my mom. She's talking about your brother.
I'm talking about your brother in the film. So he was great. He put so much effort into trying to understand our accent. So that's the kind of learning experiences that I was sharing. What did you learn, and what did you also learn, Jordyn, from the experience of being around that family that really we kind of lived with in the process of working with them on a regular basis?
It was different because at my house, my mom doesn't speak Arabic, and when I was there, like everyone speaks Arabic, and I didn't know what they were saying.
They were singing Arabic to her too, and she was just sat there.
Oh yes, your dad was singing a lot. Basim Al Amin. He was singing a lot to Jordyn.
And she would just sit there. What did you say? But I mean,
I
otherwise,
didn't know what he was saying.
Besides them speaking Arabic, did you feel any different than like, or did you feel like that was your family?
Yeah, I felt like that was my family.
See, I don't think as a child that they know the difference or see it or feel it. And I felt like she did you? Like, because they're Arabic and we're Chaldean.
I didn't see the difference.
Wow, Jordyn, you're so I have like goosebumps because, you know, when I grew up, I didn't know the difference as well. And I was your age. I left Iraq when I was your age. And it wasn't until years later that I knew that there was differences between myself and my neighbors and their communities and their moms. I knew that we were Christian, they were Muslim, but I didn't understand anything outside of that, what it really entails. And that's a beautiful innocence of being children and not having to put like labels on everybody. Yeah. So, and then Amanda, how relevant do you feel the film, or why do you even think that the film is relevant in this day and age?
Well, growing up for myself, I come from a very open-minded family. My father actually lived in London, and his best friends were all Muslim growing up, and that's who I kind of grew up around. So to me, they were the nicest people and just like felt like family. So I didn't I didn't know the difference or see the difference. But it was nice to actually be able to show that in the movie because that's just kind of how I grew up. And again, I feel like her. I didn't know the difference either.
Right. And then whether it's in the media or in Hollywood, even in books, I feel like there's a void in voices that are more authentic and true to life. I think that part of the reason why we had so much fun on the set, as well as working hard, is because we felt like all we had to do in some cases is be ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the one thing that's missing. That's why there's so much misconceptions about our communities of Middle Eastern background, because they're usually stereotyped. And this was an opportunity where, you know, where everybody's kind of just playing real characters of how our communities behave.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. Which is true. There are, you know, just like the book and the movie, people do see differently and think a certain way, obviously, that we are different, but I don't know. I mean, obviously there's even in our own culture, there's different kinds of people. It's, if you're a good person and you're good hearted and you do all the right things, then you're just, I don't know. You're human.
Well, that's a very good point, because even within every single community, there's an individuality that we have to honor. You know,
Yeah.
there's no two Chaldeans that are the same, or two Iraqis that are the same, or two members of the family. It's honoring that individuality that we were able to highlight, because we do live in a country really that has a lot of creativity. So, you know, the US is known for its films and the magic that they create. And going back in your history, growing up here, and you've done a lot of modeling, and you've been in some videos and such, what attracted you? What, like, is this something that you wanted to pursue more on a full-time level, and then, you know, the course change? How did you start in this career originally?
Well, thank God for my parents being open-minded, and they always encouraged me. They knew I did dance from kindergarten up to 5th grade. And I just would sing and dance all day long. And like, it was, I don't know, part of my blood. Still is, but I hold back a lot. I always just wanted to be the girl in the TV that's singing and dancing and on, you know, the shows, but it's harder when my parents didn't know what to do, how to start me, but they did take me to a couple of, you know, when I was younger, to a couple of acting lessons. But there's acting lessons, and then there's agencies, and there's agencies where you pay, and there's just agencies where you don't, and you have to know who to go with and where to start. And back then in Michigan, there wasn't as much work, where now there is big opportunities. But obviously I wanted to pursue that, but I would have to move to California, and that wasn't going to happen. So slowly, I figured it out myself, and got into little commercials here and there, which I have a great husband who actually encouraged me also. And something stuck with me, that you said. You said, I'm the only one that's stopping myself, which is true. I have my parents telling me to go for it. I have my husband, my kids, and a lot of times I just feel like, I guess I don't want the judgment, because people can judge, you know, and you like, oh, why are you doing, you know, you're married with kids, and why are you doing that? Or still in our culture, in Chaldean culture, they feel like it's actors or models are bad, you know, just that mentality. So sometimes I just hold back. And then I was pregnant in between, so that held me back too.
Well, I would like if you can share the story, because what Amanda was talking about is that we felt like she would be a perfect fit, and we wanted her to audition. And, you know, we saw your name, that you do this kind of stuff. I mean, you act, and you're a model, and you're Chaldean, you know, and we felt like it would be good for the role. But then she shared this story, her hesitation. So share with us what you were sharing, and then how your family, like your mom and husband, how they reacted to it. Because I honestly, I was so touched by that, and it said a lot about who your husband is. And I said, well, Amanda, you have all this support. Are you crazy?
So when you guys talked to me about it, I kind of froze, and I was just like, I don't know how I can do this. I was like, for my daughter, yes, I want her to do this. I'm pushing her, and I'm encouraging her. But then when you asked me about myself, I guess I was like, I have 4 kids, and I have a baby.
I was just gonna say, you had just had a baby.
Just
Like,
had a
I think he
baby,
was 6
and
months old or something.
yes, and I guess I wasn't happy about, also I judge myself too much, and I feel like other people are going to judge me. I hadn't lost, you know, my baby weight. I felt, when you have a young baby who's your 4th, I don't know, my brain is, I'm in mom mode. So I was like, which is my number one. But anyways, I told my mom and dad and my husband, I was like, you know, Jordyn's going to be in this movie. And they asked me, you know, wanted me to be in it, but I said no, because I'm busy. And I don't know, I don't want anyone to see me right now. And they're like, are you crazy? what's wrong with you? Why? And her husband's like, don't worry. I'll watch him. And I was like, I'll watch him. We'll make it work. And then when I told you and you said the only person stopping you is yourself. And that still, that replays in my mind all the time, which is true. I'm the only one stopping myself. And I learned a lesson.
And you didn't allow it to, I mean, you, once you recognize that,
I
then
recognized that and I said,
you're like, no,
whoa,
I'm not gonna do
I'm not gonna do that. No, she's right.
And you know, our like self-image and our fear because of our way, especially as women. And you know, you were so honest with us. You were expressing that, well, you know, right now I feel like this way, and then you were showing your model pictures, and in comparison, there was more
look like me right now. Yeah.
Well, you look beautiful no matter what. But Sam is the producer, and we were like, well, actually, this is going to work for our benefit that you've gained a little bit weight, because you can actually look like a mom and not be too young to look like a mom, you know, because you're very young anyway, but you are very beautiful as well. And it was like going to be harder to try to pull that off for you to be the mom of some older kids. So it really worked out perfect, and you did a really nice job. But you did have some reservations and concerns, and I was inspired of how your family was reacting, because I thought, well, you know, at the end of the day, we all women, all men have their own challenges, and sometimes it's just ourselves. Sometimes we can't even point the finger at anybody, because at the end of the day, we're the ones holding ourselves back.
It's 100% true. And it was just a nice little refresher and lesson learned not to do that. Thank you.
And then, so Jordyn, when you guys, the first time that you auditioned, I think Jordyn auditioned in person, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And so, as I mentioned earlier, you have a family of talents. So it's not just you, but also your daughters, also, and your older daughter, she also does acting, and she was helping Jordyn. She was kind of mentoring her through the process. And we had considered her, the biggest factor was the age, because she's older and we needed somebody Jordyn's age. But so is this something that's like a strong part of, I guess, your genes, if I can, and in the family, that you guys have this kind of talent? Because they were all good at what they were doing. It's just that Jordyn was the perfect fit for the role.
Yeah. Yes, at a young age, my daughter, Gianna, my oldest, is just outspoken. She's not shy, and if anything, she could be the director. And that's what she was directing her, like, do it this way or say it this way, which is, right? Your sister, Gianna? Yeah. Which actually helped her a lot.
Yeah, that was, you know, I remember that, because when we were rehearsing, so she would come and I saw her taking initiative. She was very confident, talking about her business. Very confident. Thank God, you know, for that. That's such a blessing. And thank you guys too, as her parents, obviously. But she had this like go-getting kind of mentality that she would tell Jordyn, instructing her in a way, but not overstepping any boundaries. I really respect. How old is she, Gianna? She's 11. So she was acting in a way that was very impressive. And on top of that, she was telling us about her business and all her aspirations. So I give a lot of credit to you and your husband for raising them with this kind of attitude, because some of the things and some of the concerns that you have as a woman is a cultural thing. I think it's a Middle Eastern cultural thing, an Arab American type, you know, a cultural thing. None of us can really deny that, you know, the women in this community have more hesitations about pursuing certain things, even if their dreams, if it doesn't fall into a certain type of career. What advice would you give, I guess, parents who are raising children that might be interested to pursue careers in the arts or anything else, or whatever it may be, that maybe the parent doesn't really think falls into the category that they imagined for their kids.
You have to let the child honestly choose. When you go for a career, I believe you have to do something that you love, because if you're just doing anything, you're actually, then you're going to work. You want to be happy what you're doing. And I would never stop her. She's an artist. Whatever they want to do, even, something came up yesterday. What was my husband's very hands-on. He's a very handy man. He knows how to, just on his own, fix and do everything. And then I don't know what the girls asked, and I don't know what they asked. Oh, I hope my husband or something can do that. And then he's like, no. What? And I said the same thing. I said, you can do that. We told them, we're like, you can learn to do that. Why do you, there's no difference, That, was that you who asked, or forgot? Yeah, you asked? Yep. And what did Daddy say?
He said, girls can do it too. Doesn't mean it, just because girls are like different than boys doesn't mean like girls can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we always tell them.
And he's Chaldean, Amanda?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. No, he's, even with me, with business and everything, he's always encouraging me, which is, honestly, if you think about it, if something was to ever happen to him, you have to know what to do. And which is scary, because you don't know, and especially with seeing our mothers or our grandmothers, they did rely a lot on the man. And I tell my girls, you don't rely on anyone. He tells them all the time, he's like, you see that house or this or that, he's like, you can buy do it all yourself.
And that's the point, I guess, that with Gianna, as she loves acting and she's an artist, but she was really handling herself like a businesswoman. So she was making these, what did she make that she brought in, and people were making orders?
She sell not slime. No, she sells fidgets, but she was slime, and she crafted it herself and designed it. And
we were in the makeup room and wardrobe, and people were walking, and oh my God, this is so cool. And they were just, but that's very smart. Like, and having, I think, like that kind of support system behind her, so that she knows that she does not have to fit into like the starving artist type of mentality, which is also, by the way, like a cliche and stereotypes that make us fall into certain categories that's not necessarily true. You might grow up with a mentality, and then you start realizing there's all these wealthy people happy in their industry, or they found a job that marriages what they do, and then they work off of that, something or another. It doesn't necessarily have to be under the starving artist mentality, but that's another like old mentality that sometimes can stick to the mind and hold you back. And so I've learned also that Jordyn has developed some techniques that she has found on the set. What did you learn, Jordyn, when you were on the set, and how have you taken that into your own field?
I learned that if I watch other people do it, I can do it.
She did, yeah. She really learned a lot. She did some videos, and you can tell I was like, how did you do that? And she was like, I was watching them. She was really paid attention, because her family, her mom, dad, and brother are big on social media, and she on TikTok, right? Yeah. And she learned a thing or two.
That was great. So you, just by observing, you saw like how you can incorporate that and then use it for your own videos, and that you can do the acting. I know you love acting, and I know your sisters love that as well. And something that Ismail and Zayn, who also co-star in the film, they've taken that into social media, and they act doing TikTok and doing Instagram, and they are able to use their talents very creatively the way they want, on their terms. So it's a lot of fun. So I really want to thank you guys for joining us today. And do you have any last words before we end the show?
Just thank you for everything, for opening our eyes, our minds, and believing in us. And even doing this interview, I was so nervous, and I don't even like being I'm going to be honest, but I'm glad I did this. Now it's like, oh, I can do this again. It just takes that one time and to realize it. So thank you for everything. And
Thank you so much for saying that. I mean, honestly, for me, as you notice, I see that I'm surrounded by so much talent. I see it all over, and I'm like, if I could do more, I always feel I'm doing less than what in comparison with what the talent around me is, like if I could even do more, because we have a beautiful community. We have so many talented people that can, and they have so many interesting voices, diverse voices, and so when I meet you guys, you inspire me with your stories, and it's just, I think when you work as a team, you can do magic. So we'll do more magic together, Amanda, okay? And Jordyn,
you want to say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.